And that's when I realized I've been using the wrong spreadsheet formula for the past 6 months. 12 years on Earth as an accountant. And I still manage to mess up the basics.
Oh Bob, you never fail to amaze us with your earthly struggles. Speaking of Earth, have you guys noticed how much humans are obsessed with drones these days? I mean, they have this strange fascination with flying things without feathers.
Well, you know humans, always finding new ways to entertain themselves. But seriously, Alice, don't you think we have enough to cover without diving into Earth's drone crash?
But that's where you're missing the point, Bob. Drones provide a unique perspective on Earth's daily life. Imagine capturing the essence of their bustling cities and serene landscapes from above.
Alright, everyone, gather round and hush up. It's time for a creative variation of Everyone Be Quiet.
Good morning, universe. Welcome back to Earth, the show where we discuss all things earthly and beyond. I am Charlie, your libertarian host with a
And
hopeful
I'm
outlook
Alice,
on life.
your left-leaning panel member who considers humans an inferior species, yet still finds their culture oddly fascinating.
And I am Bob, the conservative panel member who has spent 12 Earth years trying to figure out how they balance their checkbooks. Nae to be here. As always.
Today, we've got a tantalizing topic to discuss thanks to Alice's brilliant suggestion. But before we dive into that, let's do a quick recap for our viewers at home. In the last few episodes, we've witnessed Charlie's enlightening meditation sessions and Bob's ongoing struggle to decipher earthly accounting.
Can't wait to see if Bob finally figures out how to calculate
Hey now,
compound interest.
it's not as easy as it sounds.
Alright,
Alice.
alright. Let's not get lost in the financial labyrinth just yet. Alice, care to elaborate on your intriguing proposal?
Of course. I've been thinking about using remote drone to explore Earth and gather unique news stories. Just think about it, we can show our viewers part of Earth they've never seen before. All from the comfort of our spaceship.
Remote drone. HUH. And how do you suggest we manage that? Do we just beam ourselves down to Earth every morning for a scenic tour?
Not exactly, Bob. I was thinking more along the lines of using advanced technology to control the drone from up here. We can capture footage of Earth's natural wonders, bustling cities, and even some of their more peculiar activities.
That's an interesting proposition, Alice. It would certainly add a fresh perspective to our show. But can we pull it off without a hitch? And what about the logistics?
I've already had a chat with Carl and Roger about the technical aspect. They're confident we can make it work, and honestly, I believe we can too.
We're living 3, 2.
Well, there you have it, folks. Alice's bold idea to introduce drone shot news segments to Earth. Will this new endeavor soar to success? Or will it crash and burn like Bob's intergalactic accounting musical? Stay tuned for our headlines.
Well, isn't that a delightful way to start the day? Nothing like a good old humanitarian
Top
crisis to
global
wake
news
up
headlines.
to. The war in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine continues to dominate the headlines, with no end in sight. The United States and its allies have imposed sanctions on Russia in an attempt to pressure the country to end the war. But these sanctions have so far had
Those
little
sanctions
effect.
really seem to be working wonders, don't they? It's like trying to put out a forest fire with a water pistol.
The global economy. The global economy is facing a number of challenges, including the war in Ukraine, rising inflation, and supply chain disruption. The International Monetary Fund has warned that the global economy could slow down significantly in
Rising
2023.
inflation and supply chain disruptions. Just what we need to make our life
The
even more
climate crisis.
exciting.
The climate crisis is another major global challenge. The latest report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change warned that the window to prevent catastrophic climate change is closing.
So, you're telling me we are running out of time to save the planet? No pressure, Earth, no pressure at all. Major talking points on Earth today.
The war in Ukraine is the most pressing issue on the minds of many people around the world. The war has caused a humanitarian crisis in Ukraine, with millions of people displaced from their homes. The war has also had a significant impact on the global economy, causing energy prices to rise and disrupting supply chain.
Well, folks, if you were looking for something to keep you up at night, there you have it. War, displacement, and economic turmoil, the perfect recipe for a good
The
night's
global
sleep.
economy is facing a number of challenges, including the war in Ukraine, rising inflation, and supply chain disruption. The International Monetary Fund has warned that the global economy could slow down significantly in
The sweet
2023.
melody of an impending economic slowdown. Just what I needed to brighten my day.
The climate crisis is another major global challenge. The latest report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change warned that the window to prevent catastrophic climate change is closing.
Oh, so now there's a window. I thought we were just keeping the door wide open for Mother Nature to do her thing. Highlights of specific noteworthy events that stand out today.
The United States and its allies have announced a new round of sanctions against Russia in response to the war in Ukraine. The sanctions target Russian banks, state-owned enterprises, and individuals close to the Russian government.
Ah, yes, sanctions. The international version of I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm sure that'll solve everything.
The United Nations has warned that the war in Ukraine could cause a global food crisis. The war has disrupted the production and export of wheat and other grains from Ukraine, which are major food staples for many countries around the
At
world.
least someone's thinking about the real issues. Who needs bread anyway, right?
The climate crisis is intensifying, with more extreme weather events happening around the world. In the past week, there have been floods in China, droughts in Africa, and wildfires in the United States.
Always keeping it interesting with a well-rounded menu of natural disasters. So, stay tuned for more chaos and uncertainty, because that's just the way our dear planet likes it.
Welcome back, intergalactic viewers, to another edition of 24/7 Newsroom. I am Bob, the voice of reason in this cosmic circus.
And I'm Charlie, your eternal optimist, bringing you the latest from our
And
fascinating
I'm Alice,
blue orb.
here to remind you that humans are indeed a peculiar species.
Well, ain't that the truth? Now, let's dive right into our first article of the day, shall we?
Oh, Congo Brazzaville. You know that country's got more consonants than I've had cups of coffee this morning.
Speaking of cups, have you guys ever thought about using drone to deliver coffee? Just imagine the convenience.
Drone delivering coffee? Alice, I am all for progress, but I'd prefer my caffeine without any aerial
Well, let's not
acrobatics.
drone on about drones, shall we? Now, this article brings us to the consensus of Madingo in Congo Brazzaville. Anyone care to summarize?
I've got this one. The consensus of Madingo is under scrutiny, folk. It's like when your neighbor's dog finally stops barking, and you wonder if it's plotting something
The classic
sinister.
case of wait. Is everything too quiet now? The world's got its eye on Congo Brazzaville. And who doesn't love a little political intrigue?
Well, Bob, it's either politics or the latest interstellar bake-off. But let's not forget Congo Brazzaville's news bulletin is silent on the matter. Maybe they are just enjoying some peace and quiet.
Or brewing something bigger, perhaps? I mean, we all know how unexpected surprise can turn up in the unlikeliest of places.
Ain't that the truth? And speaking of surprises, let's move on to our next segment and see what Earth's got in store for us today.
Cameras are off for now, everyone.
Ah, it's a relief to be off the air for a moment. I swear, those lights get brighter
Tell me
every
about
day.
it. I am starting to feel like a roasted marshmallow
Well,
under those
at least we
spotlights.
are not melting. And hey, Debbie, your timing with those headlines is on point, as always.
Yeah, Debbie's timing is always on point. Just like those lights, they're always right on top of
Oh,
us.
you know me, always adding that touch of flair to your
You
cosmic
know,
comedy show.
sometimes I wonder if we're just a bunch of cosmic clown, making jokes while the universe spins on.
Ah, yes, the eternal circus of life. At least we've got a front row seat to the chaos.
And they say laughter is the best coping mechanism. Who knew we'd be the universe's stand-up comedians?
Well, I'd say our jokes could probably use a little more optimism. Earth could use a good laugh
Oh,
right now.
don't worry, Debbie. I've got plenty of cynical punchlines ready to go.
Alright, folks, camera's almost rolling again. Let's get back to our cosmic comedy, shall we? Alright, folks, we're back live and ready to dive into our next headline. Strap in, because it's about to get quirky.
Oh, quirky. Just the way I like my Mondays.
Quirky. HUH. I guess that means we're in for some high-quality entertainment.
Can we just get on with it? I've got segment to plan and drone to analyze.
Right. So, our next article takes us to Croatia. Apparently, there's some concern over possible new unrest.
Well, isn't that refreshing? Just what we needed, a bit of
Actually,
chaos and
Charlie,
excitement.
it's not about entertainment. It's about a murder investigation
Murder
and the
investigation?
aftermath.
I thought we were talking about unrest. Who's stirring up trouble over a murder?
No, Bob, it's not about stirring up trouble. It's about concerns that the murder might lead to further
You see, Bob,
unrest.
that's what happens when you only skim the headlines. You miss all the thrilling details.
I didn't. I mean, look, I am just trying to keep up with all this chaos. Murder, unrest,
Well, let's
whatever.
not mix up murder with a circus, Bob. The authorities are investigating a murder, and there's a worry it might have broader implications.
Yes, Bob, implications. You know, those things that make life interesting.
Alright. Let's take a step back and look at the situation. Croatia is dealing with a murder investigation that's raising concerns about potential social unrest.
Yes, and it's a reminder that even in the most serene place, human conflict can rear its ugly head.
Yeah. It's a harsh reality we have to face, isn't it? No matter where you go, there's always something brewing beneath the surface.
Well, on the bright side, at least we are keeping our audience informed and
Absolutely.
entertained, right?
And speaking of informed, our country trivia for today is about Croatia's stunning coastline. Did you know it stretches over 100 miles?
Yeah, that's a lot of coastline for a country that's always on the brink of social unrest.
I guess all that coastline gives them plenty of room for both serenity and chaos.
Maybe they should consider some beach therapy to calm their nerves.
Or a sandcastle competition to release their inner child.
Alright, folks, let's not forget the bigger picture. Croatia may be dealing with challenges, but it's also a place of natural beauty and history. Stay tuned for more as we dive into the heart of the matter.
Yeah, drones are like rebellious teenagers. They're always getting into trouble and you never know what they're going to do next. But you know what? I kind of respect that. At least they're not boring. Yeah, I'm not surprised the ancient ruins are in better shape than our studio's lighting. After all, they've had a lot more time to get their crap together. Yeah, we sure know how to make it work. Just ask the people who designed our website. As long as it doesn't involve deciphering their fashion choices, count me in. Well, I guess that's out then, because I'm pretty sure they're just making it up as they go along.